But the big one, man, the big one that honestly none of us expected throughout this whole season, and that is Jaylen Brown to the 76ers, right? So we're looking at this, Jay-Z. Um, Let me pretty much get your opinion on like how does this Jaylen Brown trade impact the Sixers? Like, what do you think? First, just give me what do you think about this trade before we get to the question.
Well, I think that this is, what I'm saying, another one of those Paul George trades that are gonna go well for the team that gets rid of him. You know what I'm saying? Just like it was kind of dumb for the Celtics to trade away the Finals MVP for a withered Paul George who hasn't really accomplished anything in his, you know, in the years. But I think it's a bad trade. Just keep it short and sweet. I think it's a bad trade.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be right with you. To be honest, to me, I don't really get it. I don't really get it. I mean, I both sides. It's like okay, but for especially for the Celtics, I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand why Jaylen Brown would even be on the block, the trading block. I mean, I get his contract's expensive, but that contract's worth it. He was a Finals MVP. Him and Jason Tatum are at their peak. Both can go out and average 30 a night. So to me, I don't really get it. Um, but honestly, Jay, so let's get into the question, right? So do you feel that this Jaylen Brown trade does it make the Sixers title contenders, or would you say this is just the regular season team? And just let me know.
Nah, I definitely think this definitely does make the Sixers title contenders just because feel like the Sixers they already have like kind of their big three, but they're missing that piece that they really needed to like kind of like what I'm saying will them together. And Jalen Brown, amazing player. I think he can really like he really fills that gap that they really needed. And with some experience, nice playoff experience, and he's a Jalen Brown's a winning player, so I definitely think that's what Philadelphia needed, like somebody who can really bring wins to them, and we've seen that he brought wins to the Celtics with that Jason Tatum, brought him to the 2 seed in the East last year, and yeah, that's what I think.
Uh, yeah, yeah, I'm not mad at that. On my side, um, really, to be honest, on my side, I would say that I think this trade makes the Sixers better for sure, but I wouldn't say I still would take the Knicks to be honest, or I would take another, especially if LeBron signs with Cleveland or something like that. Like I would still take one of those teams over them just because there's only one basketball. Feel me? And I feel like teams like these don't really they win games but not championships. If you know what I'm saying, right? Like I feel like it's only one ball. You have Tyrese Maxey, you have VJ Eshcom, Jaylen Brown, Joel Embiid if he's playing. Um, and then they also got Anthony Simons off the bench, who, like I said, he comes in, he wants the ball. He can play off, but he wants the ball. So I feel like it's just going to be interesting to see because when you put 4 20 point per game scores, or really 4 25 point, because VJ definitely can give you 20, 25 a night. Maxi, we know he can do. Joel Embiid, he was an MVP at one point. So, but to me, I think it's just too many people. Like it's just too many great players to really work. I feel like for it to be a championship team, I feel like you have two players, two stars, and the rest of the team builds around that. I feel like the Sixers, you have 4 stars. So I mean, I don't know to me, and I feel like especially if injuries are concerned, like I just feel like there's a bunch of things because this is kind of giving me flashbacks to the Nets when they had Kyrie, Harden, KD, and so I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Um, yeah, I mean that's really all we can get into with the Jaylen Brown. Um, but let's get into the other side of the play, right? So, how does Paul George impact the Celtics? I mean, pretty much he's a way worse Jaylen Brown right now. I mean, I don't really get how it just made sense. I feel like the Celtics, I could understand maybe trading Jaylen Brown. I get that they were mad about him streaming this and that, like him doing all this off the court stuff. But if you're going to trade for Jaylen Brown, you got to get like a VJ Edgecombe. You got to get a
Right.
Tyrese Max. You got to get somebody for the future. I'm thinking you got to get VJ Edgecombe instead of Paul George, and then you get those picks. If I'm the Celtics, that to me would have been like, okay, this makes both sides better.
Right.
But to go out and get a what is Paul George, a 36 or something? To go
Yeah.
out and get to go
Or
out and get
36.
George, if I'm pulling up if I'm looking at Paul George right here, I'm
17.
seeing someone that averaged 17 points. This guy wasn't a 20-point per game scorer, and he shot less than 50% from the field. So if I'm Boston, I don't really know what they saw. I don't know what Brad. I believe Brad Stevens is a GM over there. That's what everybody's been talking about. So I don't know, but yeah, Jay, let me know your side.
Yeah, right. I think this definitely, the Celtics, they have to, like, this Paul George thing, man, it definitely loses them some points. You know what I'm saying, on the stat sheet. Jaylen Brown, he averaged like 28 to Paul George's 17. And I definitely think that this also kind of, it lets JT it kind of gives the Celtics what they want. I think that's another reason why they traded him, because they really wanted JT to be like, they want JT to be their guy. So of course they're gonna, trade in Jaylen Brown. It's gonna open up, way more opportunities for a fully, I don't know, for like a healthy Jason Tatum. You know what I'm saying, to really go out there and like be the great player that he is. But then again, Paul George, he deals with a lot of things nowadays, like injuries. You know what I'm saying? He's not to the level of a basketball player that was Jaylen Brown anymore, or that is Jaylen Brown anymore. So I think that this just, on the court, it definitely does affect, what it affects it affects, their offense a lot. But off the court, you never know. They probably could use Paul George as a mentor of some sorts. He's been in the league for a while. He probably has, lots of knowledge that he can, or wisdom that he can share with the younger Celtics players. But I mean, I don't see how that would, I don't see how that would really help anything. That's what I think.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely agree. Now as far as how I would look at how Paul George like impacts his team, I mean, I don't think he I mean, obviously he makes them worse because he's not Jaylen Brown good, but I think he still fits in with this offense. But it's just a matter of a Paul George, like when he's out there, Paul George, even today, we still saw flashes of him when he was healthy. He could get 30 a night, he could get 25 a night, 25 on some nights, but it's just him staying healthy. Jaylen Brown, one of his like high characteristics is his availability. I mean, I hardly, knock on wood, obviously, but I hardly see Jaylen Brown on the injury report. He's always playing throughout, like you said, Jay, how he kept put the Celtics on his back when Jason Tatum wasn't available. How he torched my Wizards on that game. But yeah, he's always putting them on their back. And he's always available. Paul George availability, I mean, we don't even have to comment on that. So but I'm looking at this Celtics roster, man, and I mean, I like the signing with Mitchell Robinson, but I saw something, right? Actually, let me bring you back, Jay. All right. I want to
You
get
know,
your live reaction to this. I saw something that the Celtics feel as though Peyton Pritchard will take a Jalen Brunson leap in his game with Jaylen Brown gone. So I was like, wow. All right. Now, I love Peyton Pritchard is definitely, to me, one of the most underrated players in the league. But a Jalen Brunson jump, I was like, all right, okay. So
yeah, that's
let me know. Okay, this ties into my personal question for you. Like, how do you feel Peyton Pritchard's jump will be with Jaylen Brown gone? And do you think it will be to the level of Jalen Brunson? Let me know.
okay. Of course, I'm gonna start off. I don't think, I mean, of course you can predict the future, but I don't think that he's gonna, take that Jalen Brunson leap. I think the leap that Jalen Brunson took was so like, it was so like, not to, like Jalen Brunson. Like, it was so rare. Like, I don't think we never seen, like, well, we have seen players, but like the way that Jalen Brunson just like kind of just, made that like I don't know how to say it, but it's just it was 1-on-1, right? It was a 1-on-1 type of jump. And Payton Pritchard, I don't see him really making that kind of big. I think he's gonna make a big leap in his career. You know what I'm saying? Now that he is available to more minutes and stuff, I think he's gonna. Payton Pritchard is definitely a guy that can go out there. He can get about I'd say like 23 to 25. I think he's one of those. He's very skilled. One of those very skilled guys. But Jalen Brunson, he was like that leap that he took from Mavs Jalen Brunson to Knicks
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
I mean, when Jalen Brunson on the Mavs, he was the Robin.
Yeah,
So
I mean, nobody thought. I mean, even Stephen A. Smith said, like, nobody thought, Jalen Brunson. We knew that he was going to be a good player, but when we saw him go to the Knicks, we were like, okay, I mean, just another point guard, but man, dude. But what I'd say on my question, really, I feel like Payton Pritchard definitely will have a big leap. I definitely I'm looking at his game log. Every game that Payton Pritchard is shooting over 20 shots, he's putting up 25 to 30 points. He even has a couple games near 40 points on this log. So I definitely think he will take a jump, and he could potentially be in that all-star consideration for sure, because he's going to take the load of Jaylen Brown. Like I said, Paul George, he won't be available for 60% of the season if we're being realistic, right? But Payton Pritchard, I mean, like I said, he's definitely a special player. I think him and Derek White will definitely accelerate. Like, I don't think the Celtics are going anywhere. Like, I've seen some people kind of be like, they don't got Jaylen Brown. Like, the Celtics are still definitely going to make noise in the East, and they could still potentially come out the East. Especially, like I said, with the signing of Mitchell Robinson, Quetta, obviously, him coming back. And obviously the depth, that's their main thing. They have a really deep bench. So, yeah, I mean, I think that there'll still be a good team, but I see Payton Pritchard benefiting the most out of this, benefiting to the Celtics more than Paul George, most definitely. I don't think Paul George will be doing too much. I'm also curious. I think Jaylen Brown will definitely. I think he'll take a dip, because, like I said, it's only one ball. So I mean, you have to share the ball, And I'm interested to see how the Philadelphia coaching staff schemes it up to where they're all getting looks, because all of them want to take 20 shots. That can't happen. So I'm interested to see how they do this. Like, only player I know of that big three that can play out the ball is Tyrese Maxey, to me. I mean, VJ Edgecombe, he doesn't have the shot to, get to that level. Like, Maxey can move. Embiid, we know he can't move off the ball. That's no question. Jaylen Brown, he needs the ball in his hands. VJ, like I said, to me, he can, but it would be more as a lob threat. And to me, because he doesn't have the shot to really make up for it. But anything else you got to add?
No, I'm good, man. That's all I got.
All right, man.